Welcome back to another episode. It's not even an episode, it's just another NBA segment. I'm Didi Noseball. I'm here with Chris. And we got a lot for y'all today. Today we're gonna be discussing Pacers. Are they too dependent on their role players? Because I think they are. What's the Grizzlies ceiling this season? Donovan Mitchell, he needs to let Garland cook more. Ime Udoka is he coach of the year. And we have some NBA news. So, Chris, what's up with you, man?
What's good, fam? How you?
Oh, I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling, bro. Happy
Same, man.
Thanksgiving is over,
Yeah,
and we got Christmas, and then life will be back regular.
man. What you mean by that?
Having to do stuff for holidays.
That's true. You do a
You
little
know,
bit more around the holidays, but yeah, then hey, your day, you go back to day to life. I guess I get that.
yeah. You
Like,
kind of stop grinding around
true.
holiday time,
Yeah,
like from
kind of like
November to January.
yeah, you kind of like wind down or whatever. But nah, it's yeah, I feel you on that. But that also means we get into the more important parts of the basketball season too. So
And that's cool. That's always good. And people are getting more healthy. So
yep.
let's get into some NBA news. What you want to hit first? We got the Bulls fire sale, the NBA Cup update. LeBron is he falling off? He kind of looking
hmm
terrible right now. React to ESPN's 25 under 25 and Ingram signing with Clutch. We can start wherever you want to start.
Shoot, we can pull up. We can talk about start with Clutch first. And Ingram going with them.
Is it really a big deal to you?
Not really, if I'm being honest. I mean, Clutch gets a lot of guys. They don't necessarily. That doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna go team up with LeBron. I just mean that think that means they're trying to get the bag, and that's what they're focused on.
But my thing is, who outside of New Orleans is going to pay Brandon Ingram more than what New Orleans is going to pay him?
Some team will do it because some team will think, still a young guy who can be a elite scorer. Not, I mean, they may think that. I don't think he can be elite. I think he can be a good scorer, great scorer, but elite. Yeah. Some might think that he could be an elite scorer in the league, do some good things for them, and be able to facilitate a little bit. But he
Who
could be
has the
elite.
money? Who has the money to sign him? I don't even know if people have money like that. The only place I could think that he could go is probably Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, maybe. Uh, I don't know, honestly. Like, he wouldn't be my first.
Exactly.
Yeah, he wouldn't be my first free agent I'm going after.
You
Um,
have it good in New Orleans. And you say everything's gonna fall on Zion. You get as many shots as you want. It's like,
yeah,
just stay in New Orleans. Nobody really.
stay in New Orleans and chill. Like, I
The
don't know.
fact that he signed the clutch, what does that tell you? Like, what does that? Did that kind of pique your interest? Make you feel some type of way about anything of it?
No, I mean, I'm wondering how this, how this is going effectively going forward with LeBron. He like LeBron really do got this on. He owns his agency. Like people can say what they want, but LeBron do be on this, and he has some type of hand in this. Like,
So you
um,
think he's the puppet master to the Rich Paul and Clutch Sports?
I mean, I do think Rich Paul runs thing. I do think Rich Paul is a big factor in it, but LeBron still being a part owner or whatever, like and having a play in it, I still do think that has a plays a part in it. I mean, look what happened with Anthony Davis.
Is he a
Um,
part owner of Clutch?
he's some involved. He's very involved with Clutch. I know that.
I
So
know Rich Paul is his friend, but is that even legal, bro? I don't
that's
like
not
him,
that.
bro. I
I don't
can't
know
stand
whatever
him.
it is. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm not gonna just say it's LeBron's for sure. But like,
Why do you think so many people try to assign to Clutch? Do you think because they have like dirty tactics or something?
I just think because usually they can get their ways to get guys paid. Yeah, like I think Rich Paul is very you know, he's very good at getting people to bag for one, and he's good at applying pressure. I mean, as far as on the teams about you probably should do what me and my client want to do. It's gonna be the best thing for you.
I don't know how I feel about Rich Paul. I don't listen to a couple of his interviews. I don't know if you ever heard him talk. He seems a little slimy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
He is like, I don't know. He try to act like he have his players' best interest at heart. Hold on, I got to turn this damn TV off. Sorry, but I was trying. It just kept getting in my way.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I feel about Rich Paul. Have you ever heard an interview about him?
I heard of, I've heard some stuff. I've heard about it and listened to stuff. It's like he do be doing the shop and all that kind of stuff. And he came in from grinding. He used to be selling them jerseys, selling stuff like that. So I mean, he probably is kind of a little, negotiating agency kind of dude. So that's what
And
you're
he one
working
of
with.
them dudes from LeBron's childhood team.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Yeah.
he
He's
got a
one of
degree,
school. See, I don't know about that, honestly.
educated.
I
Well,
don't know if he would, but hey, he qualified, eventually qualified enough to become an agent. So
I guess. Anything else on Ingram? Where do you think he lands before we move on?
I think his best, he should just go back to
Just stay
the
in New Orleans.
Pelicans. But maybe a team like the Spurs throw some money at him, try to get him.
Oh Lord,
Pistons maybe because they
oh
want
well.
to bring in some talent.
I don't mind the Pistons. I don't mind the Pistons. I really don't. But I guess we can move on from that. Ingram, you got too much airtime, dog. You ain't doing nothing. So I did want to ask you about this Bulls fire sale though. Like, what you have on that? Because I feel like they got a lot of interesting players.
So I mean, yeah, they got. I think they can move off of Vucevic, Levine, Lonzo, Patrick Williams is even being talked to be moved. Like they got some guys that they may be moving around, going somewhere. I think towards trade deadline they could be one of the bigger sellers in the league and try to go all in on just being young.
Nobody wants Lonzo or Patrick Williams. Let's just keep it a buck. Nobody wants them dudes, man. Now, Vooch and Levine, I think Vooch would be really good on the Lakers, bro. Because I was looking at the Lakers the other day. I was just going through some of these stats, and they really don't get a lot of rebounds. You would think because Anthony Davis averaged like 12 rebounds. They're 27th in total rebounds, Chris.
That's crazy.
And they allow 51 and a half. So it's like AD needs some help on the boards. And it's like then the one thing everybody hates about Vooch is he don't protect the rim, and Anthony Davis can do that. And then he's a good offensive player. He can hit the three. Like I really like his fit in LA, but then he would get picked like him and LeBron, and then like Reeves. That just will be kind of. I wouldn't like that defensively, but
defensively there that may hurt your team a little bit. But I mean, I think just giving another big body in there to rebound for one, giving another big body in general to play next to Anthony Davis. That's not Jackson Hayes or Coloco. Like you got to get some other bigs in there just to help out AD. And then he can also, he's great offensively. He can hit threes, knock down shots, do things like that. So, I mean, he's been playing pretty well for the Bulls this season so far. So, I don't think bringing in Vooch hurts the Lakers at all. I do think he's a good fit with them, like you said. I also think he could be a good fit with the Magic if they were able to get him back too. No. But I mean, Magic has some guys. The center Go has been playing well.
They need a guard. I don't need nobody in the paint that can't defend the paint. And then we good on that for the Magic. I ain't gonna lie to you. Levine should be their play still.
Levine should be their play. I agree with that. I mean, Levine works for the Lakers too, I guess. Levine works for a lot of teams, so I'm interested to see.
I think Levine works for the Lakers, but not as good as Vooch, just because. I mean, Austin Reeves can kind of do it, but not really. But it's like
not to the same extent, yeah. But do you need?
He's gonna bring the same problems. He can't defend, and then it's like I don't know. I liked it at first until I thought it's like How much is Austin Reeves averaging? Austin Reeves averaging like 16. Is that it?
Yeah, somewhere there.
When you can go get a
Let me
Vooch
see.
and probably like get rid of
Yeah.
Rui. I just feel like that'll be a bigger upgrade. Yeah. Austin Reeves is like 17 points.
Okay, yeah.
17 points against Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine. He's at 22 points. So is that extra 4 or 5 points worth it?
No, probably not. And then then you're
Okay.
working with how does he fit with Austin Reeves too? Where does that leave everybody else? So, probably getting Vooch is probably better for them. But I do think Zach LaVine fits a lot of teams. A lot of teams that need scoring or just another extra punch, Zach LaVine will help fit them well.
Who do you think is the untouchables? Well, they should none of them be untouchables. But who do you think are the guys that you would want to keep in Chicago since they are having a fire sale?
I say go ahead and keep Kobe White, keep Modest, keep the young guys. I guess you keep Giddy too.
Giddy, Kobe. Man,
I don't think Chicago has a lot of pure untouchables, but
I don't even
if
know.
we're gonna start somewhere, that's it.
I said that just because I'm like, man, everybody's available for the right price. To be honest, I think they should have probably did this way earlier because where they at in the standings? Let me check that where they are in the standings. So right now, man, why you want to go so slow? Okay, the Bulls are in 11th place. So in the league right now, they've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in 8th spot in terms of draft position. That's not bad. But if you was go have a fire sale, you should have been sitting guys, trading guys.
Yeah.
Because 8 and 13, it's a couple other teams. And,
I would have traded. I would have probably traded him in off season if I could have, because what's the point of us acting like we're gonna try to win some games and contend when we clearly are not close to being to do that?
Yeah, it's like you should be on a race to the bottom. Because I honestly, I think this draft is kind of overrated. The more I've been watching some college basketball, I'm gonna have a video coming. I need to put a video together because I've been watching college basketball. I'm like, these dudes, it's like they good, but they not. Nah, bro. I don't see no just Dylan Harper, maybe Dylan Harper, Cooper Flag, but Cooper Flag's gonna be more of a if you already have a scorer. Like I wouldn't want him around other players who couldn't score.
I think he's not gonna be a flashy scorer, but he'll still be able to put the ball in a basket.
I ain't been liking what I've been seeing 1-on-1, man. And it's no knock on him. I still think he could be a best player on the team, but I already want some scorers there. That's what I low key like the Utah because Keontae look like he's turning into a scorer.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on if they keep him Laurie Mark. It looked like they gonna be sorry enough with Laurie Markkinen. So it's like,
Yeah.
I would like that.
Yeah,
But
that's true. Yeah.
Detroit, maybe. Okay.
Yeah. Nah, yeah. But I think you have a good point about not many teams should want Lonzo just because of the injury factor as well. But I think he's still a good player when he's on the court when he's healthy. But you don't know; it's not worth the risk, in my opinion. I know he's probably he's a free agent after this season anyway, and he's probably just going to go team up with LaMelo unless he goes to the right team.
Chris cut the man. He's not. He shouldn't be. Who was traded? He cut him. If anything, cut him or keep him on the bench. Like keep him where he's at. He's not an asset at this point in his career, bro. He's really not.
Man,
I get he's good.
He can be a good piece.
How many games? He's not going to play.
Yeah.
If your last name Ball, most likely you don't play at all. Like LaMelo once again ain't make it to December. Once again. Like it, I mean, it just is what it is at this point. They don't play. They don't play.
Yeah, I ain't got too much of a comeback. This looked like LaMelo's healthiest season it was going to be until it wasn't. But whenever he is healthy, that man's an all-star. I'm gonna just say that.
That's cool, but you didn't make it to December again. He didn't
Yeah.
make it to December. I'm just saying. Uh, Bulls really got the potential to be in the worst position.
Like worst future going forward, or
Yes,
oh,
yes. Think about
ooh,
it. Whose other rosters is going to be? Take Zach LaVine away. Take Vooch away. Whose roster is going to be worse than this? It's worse than the Wizards roster.
yeah.
Because you got to think
I
about
like
it,
the
Chris.
yeah,
Because the Wizards, that is a terrible roster. But Kuzma and Jordan Poole, they're worse than Vucevic and Levine. You take Vucevic and Levine away, I'd probably take Koulibaly and Saw over Josh Giddey and Kobe White. Maybe. I don't know. They all suck. It would be bad. It
going
would be
forward. I
comparable.
yeah. But going forward, probably I don't know.
But I'm saying, just think about the Bulls. No Levine, no Vucevic. Worst team in
Yeah,
the league, easily.
they yeah. I mean, they have guys, but no guys that you're really like. Yeah, they're needle movers or guys you're really looking at. So I feel you on that.
Okay, I guess we didn't talk to the Bulls too much. You got anything else you want to say about the Bulls?
Nah, that's it. I'm just interested to see where these guys gonna go and what teams they end up helping out. But as far as just the Bulls' future in general, they don't really have much of a future, unless they get some
I,
more talent over there. You get some
I,
more young talent, and
you feel like Zach Levine go for cheap, like unexpectedly cheaper than what you think in your head?
what do you value him at?
And the way it's looking, I don't know. I actually value him from a basketball perspective, but I don't know where people is willing to trade and not trade for him. That's that.
I think he fetches like a protected first or a couple seconds in a young player, but I don't think he gets too much because on his contract to injury history, but he's been actually on the court this year, so maybe that goes out the way. But and age and all that stuff. But I mean, his production wise, yes, he's deserving of some.
If you was the Rockets, would you do Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green for Zach Levine?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think. I don't think so.
I'll try, Zach. He ain't nowhere for you, my boy. I guess I don't know. I don't know. Nobody. I don't know. Okay. We could talk LeBron falling off real quick. Just I watched some of that Utah game, bro. He just he shoots terribly. Like I
Yeah,
thought he was a better shooter than this. Let me make sure before people just because people are always calling me a hater anyway.
they'll get on you about LeBron anyway. But I mean, see, the thing is, LeBron in his older age has gotten better at shooting threes, and that's actually helped prolong his career, prolong his high level of play. Well, when his shooting starts to go down, that also like it or not, LeBron's athleticism is declining. It may not be declining like some other 40-year-olds, but it is still declining. Not finishing at the rim, the same as he used to, for sure. And so when you have that paired with the bad shooting, of course it's gonna look bad.
Chris, he's 3 for 14 right now. 0 for 4 from three. 7 points, six
He was
rebounds, four
he
assists.
yeah, he was 0 of 9 last game. Like the thing is, so when you do that, when stuff like that happens, like it just looks bad as far as because technically he's supposed to be your second best player. Because AD's supposed to be your one, but even sometimes AD doesn't come and step up in the clutch moments of games or fourth quarters of games. So when you have LeBron looking like a little less than what he normally has been, rightfully so. He's almost 40. Of course it's gonna look like he's falling off, especially when his shot's not hitting. When his shot's hitting, yes, he's gonna look better and he's gonna look like, capable of still being that top 10 player in the league or whatever. But right now he don't. He can do
Do
a lot of
you think he's falling off? You personally?
me personally, I think it's just a little rough patch. He's been pushing to play all 82, and so maybe fatigue has a thing to do with it. He kind of also needs to play all 82 because his Lakers roster isn't deep enough for him to kind of be taken off and for AD to be taken off. Like, they need him to play, and they need him to actually play pretty decent. So, falling off, I'm not going to say he's falling off. I'm going to say he's having a rough patch, and he'll get through it. But
He's having a rough few games. I like that you cleared that because I mean, dude is still averaging. Chris as a second option, he's still averaging 23 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 49% from the field, 35% from three for the season.
yeah,
I don't think I judge him as a number 2 now. As
yeah,
far as a number 2, second option, he's still probably a top 5 second option in the league. It's 3 through 8 that is goddamn terrible for the Lakers.
yeah.
But I mean, LeBron, I couldn't say he's falling off. He's falling off from what he was as a number 1, and he dropped off a little bit as a number 2. But even that drop off is still like he's still better than 90% of the league. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the biggest LeBron guy. Like you said, these back-to-backs I think they played last night, if I'm not mistaken. So
I think
I
so.
don't
Yeah.
expect him to be good in back-to-backs at all. I wouldn't say he's falling off, but he's falling off, if that makes sense. But he was so high that even as he's falling off, he's better than most of the league. So
Yeah.
and then we gotta judge him as a number 2. So
Exactly. Like before, when we was judging him as number 1, I know why you was kind of getting on him, or kind of just being like, he's not, he shouldn't be a number 1, which nobody said he should have been. It should have been Anthony Davis. Now Anthony Davis is finally sliding into that number 1 role, but the Lakers don't got no depth.
no, y'all was okay when he was the number 1 option against the Nuggets when they was in the Western Conference Finals, and he was taking most of the shots, and he wasn't looking that great. That it was around that time when I'm like, say, bro, you have to start realizing I'm not the best player on the team anymore. He wasn't doing that. He literally was costing them Western Conference Finals games. Remember, they was all close.
Yeah.
He was costing them games later down in them 4 quarters. He was running out of gas. And it's like, you got to understand, AD at that time was like 28, 29. So it's like you have to, he didn't defer until now, but like that's okay, cool. But
Y'all
you
not a
should have
Western Conference
deferred.
Finals team. Yeah. Y'all not gonna be a Western Conference Finals team anymore. So
Exactly. That was my beef with LeBron a few years ago. It's like you still think you Bron. Now you are LeBron James.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, he hasn't fallen off, but he's falling off. But his falling off is still better than everybody. That's not a top 15, top 20 player.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. So can't disagree with that.
Okay. NBA Cup update. What you got?
Man, it's looking like so one, how you feel about the Hawks getting out the group with the I should have started with the Celtics and the Cavs in it.
I honestly feel like because this one thing about the Hawks, they didn't have Bogdanovich, they didn't have Hunter, they didn't have Buffkin. So it was literally like Trey, Ricochet, Jalen Johnson, and just like, so I feel like when they got a full complement of players, DeAndre Hunter, I remember I said he was a bust, but he can get you about 15 points. He can score in the mid-range, hit the open shot. We know what Bogdanovich can do. I just feel like that added boost of scoring and a little bit of defense, and just now you can platoon swap and be legit 9-10 deep. I feel like that they are a damn good team. And I think they're the only team that's beaten the Celtics and the Cavs. but then they also have lost twice to the Wizards. So it's just a weird team.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the NBA Cup,
Mm-hmm.
Trey, bro, and it's just like we could say what we want about Trey. He's struggling a little bit scoring, but he also had a 2020 game this week with last week.
Yeah.
And we know what he does in the clutch. I think he hit a deep three against the Cavs, if I'm not mistaken, late in that game.
I think you're right.
So, but if you asking, do I think they can make some noise if they keep this seed? You damn
Mm-hmm.
right. They got size, and then they got a guy that we know is not scared of the final moment. How you feel about it? You think it's a
Yeah,
fluke?
like no, I mean it's not a fluke. I mean, they done like you said, they beat the top two team. They beat the top two teams in the East. Really, the only one of the few contending teams in the East. And it's not like these NBA Cup games are supposed to be competitive. Like the guys don't know that they're trying to win. Like you win every game, but it's a little bit more supposed to be a little bit more competitive when it's NBA Cup game, and the Hawks come out on top of those games. So, I mean, I don't think that's fluky at all. I think the Hawks play with a lot of energy. They do play a lot through Trae Young. Um, they do have a lot of guys that are, you know, not shooters necessarily, but they find ways to slash, get to the basket, things like that. And then they play off Trae Young very well. But once those young guys get more accustomed, and once they get better at shooting and being able to do other things instead of playing not solely, but mostly through Trae Young, like you said, they have a lot of talent. They could be a decent team going forward. They just have to be more consistent and put things together. Maybe this NBA Cup will be one of those things that help propel them, kind of like the Pacers did last year.
Mm. So you think this is an indication of them actually being a good team, or do you think it's just the NBA Cup kind of just stuff was going right during the NBA Cup?
A bit of both, like it helped. I think this is, I think young teams will value the NBA Cup a little bit more and value
Mm-hmm.
that competitiveness. So the Hawks are a team led by he's fairly young, but he's also been a kind of a vet now in Trae Young. But he's also who's a killer. But he's playing with a lot of these young guys that need to develop, so they're taking it seriously. They're being very competitive. And so in that kind of mindset, that helps them get ready for the next part of the season. That helps them get ready potentially for a playoff run if they can make it. Now, this doesn't mean they're going to be no contender. I think it can mean they could be a good middle of the pack team in the East.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they could be a high end play-in team, like possibly. I mean, 7 through 9 ain't crazy, but
No.
NBA Cup. I'm gonna go through the who's leading each group and just tell
Mm-hmm.
me what sticks out. Group A in the East. We gonna start with the East. Group A is Orlando and New York tied 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
Group B, Milwaukee and Detroit is tied 3-0. Group C, Atlanta and Boston is tied 3-1, but Atlanta has the tiebreaker because they beat Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So with we in the East right now, what sticks out?
I think it's interesting to see the young Pistons team really contending
I'm
and
giving
really trying to, be competitive as well. Like, because that team we said has had problems and has looked like a bad situation for a while now. But when you have, some of the guys over there like Jaden Ivey, showing a little bit of improvement from his previous seasons, and yeah, you got guys like you have the vets paired with Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway when he's out there, like, and Cade, of course. They kind of can look like a competent team, more competent than what they have in the past. So it's nice to kind of see them looking a little hungrier, competitive, and like an actual basketball team.
I'm not gonna lie, it's crazy that you brought up Detroit because I'm like, I low key forgot I named them as a team. I didn't even think of them as a 3-0 team in the cup.
Mm-mm.
Do you think it's hard to keep up with the cup? Because I feel like if I don't go to one of these pages and actively look and see what's going on with
Yes,
the cup, I don't know what's going on.
dude, you don't know the groups. I can't name some of the groups off the top of my head. It's so
Like
hard or
basketball.
confusing. Like, I think that's one of the problems. Like we said, we should move it back to just being in the division. That helps solve a lot of problems with that. Um, Other than that, I mean, I'm not keeping up track with all that stuff, like and all the point differential and things like that. It's hard for me to say like, oh, who's even going to be in the wild card spot too, because I don't keep track with point differential. If I'm not sitting up there yet, looking up at like an NBA Cup update page or something, I'm not going to really know what's going on as far as that. Like, so
I was wondering what the DIFF meant. That's point differential, I'm guessing.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like the cup. But let me talk about the Western Conference group leaders. Group A, Houston's leading at 3-0. Group B, San Antonio is tied, three-way tie with San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Phoenix. Group C, Golden State. Anything jump out to you on that?
Nothing too crazy. I mean, the three-way tie is interesting. I wonder who'll come out of there between San Antonio, Phoenix, and who I forgot who else that was. But OKC. They got that big win against the Lakers, I think, just the other day. I don't know if that was a cup game, actually. My bad. So, but I think just having the Spurs, and the Wemby of it all in the NBA Cup, I'm sure the NBA would love to have that. But I think
where I could even see who's playing who in these cup games. Because it just give you the record. I don't. Okay, but I'm sorry. Keep going. It's because I was trying to say they beat who in this person.
But it's hard. It's not as easy to tell. Like I'm sure NBA would love to have Wemby up in there, just because of the Wemby of it all and him rising a star and being star in the league, whatever. But I think it'd be cool to actually see like how LeBron got it last year, and maybe Kevin Durant get it this year. So,
boo. I low key, what stick out to me is the Rockets, just because it's like how you was talking about the Pacers. I feel like the Rockets is really close to that. I feel like they a surprise team to where it's like, hey, this go be, and then they are the second seed in the West right now. Second seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he may be first after that win, but yeah.
So if the Rockets make some noise, how many games do you have to win? Like how much longer does this even go on?
I think so. They play every team in the group, and so what's that, like 4 or 5 teams?
5 games. Okay.
5 games. So you play 5 cup games or whatever in your group, and then best record of each group, winner of each group goes on. Then one wild card from each conference. Point differential.
This is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's looking like I think if the Mavericks get a win over the Grizzlies, they'll play the Rockets in the first round.
Because the Mavericks is 2-1, they right behind the Warriors in Group C.
Yeah.
So this shit's still. But I got my eye on the Rockets for sure.
I agree with you. Like the Rockets look like a very young, hungry team that could actually have a good chance of winning this cup. That's a sleeper, not even a sleeper, honestly. They have a good chance of winning the cup while maintaining that, competitive contender status. So they could very well be like the Pacers. And this could propel them to a deep run. I know the West is a little bit more loaded. I probably won't pick them to go deep in the playoffs, but it could very well help them get some of that, playoff experience as a young team and going forward anyway. So,
interesting side note: Pacers haven't won a cup game. Are you ready to get into our main topics?
If you're ready to look at the Pacers, we can.
Oh no, we didn't react to the ESPN 25/25. It's not that.
All right, bad. Let's do that. I actually pull it up real quick for you.
Okay. Let me see. We'll try to keep this. Nah, I go too long, but I'm gonna try not to go too long.
You good, man? I get it because it's something to react to for sure. Let's see if it pop up real quick.
Let me see. I think I got it just in case.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is.
Okay, yeah.
So this is in order, right?
Yeah, this is in order. Top Wemby,
okay,
bottom.
So Wemby. So Wemby and Impala. It's like I want to complain about that, but I knew it was gonna be it. I knew it was gonna be in that order. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna complain about that. I'll save that for another time because everybody's sniffing Wimby and we know Ant, whatever.
Yeah.
Paolo, I promise if he wasn't hurt, bro,
Mm-hmm.
he has an argument over Ant. He really does. He got an argument over Ant. The only thing about Ant, he's been to Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
But in turn, well, now 4 through 10. I'm looking at 4 through 10. Franz
Mm-hmm.
Wagner, I'm sorry. But then I kind of get it.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what I feel. What I think is kind of messed up about 4 through 10. I think J Dub is a little too low. J
He's
Dub at
way
9
too low.
is kind of insane. I get Franz has been having this recent surge to where like maybe it's recency bias or something. I don't know because I know the voters are voting based off future potential as well. Um, and so maybe because of however they ranked it just because of Franz's recent development and they're projecting whatever. But dude, J Dub should not be at number 9. There's
You
guys
don't even you don't even
that's
like J
messed up.
Dub. You think J Dub better than Franz?
I think he's right there. If not, yeah, I definitely think he's right there. If not better, for sure. But uh, I would just say Evan Mobley and Halliburton should. There's no way
That's
they should have been over J Dub. There's no way. And now, like you said, I'm not even the biggest J Dub fan, but even I know that that's crazy.
who is your number? Who would be your number 4?
I'll be honest. I probably would have slid Chet above Franz and put him at 4.
I think I would have put J Dub at 4.
Okay.
I think I would have put Chet at 5. Franz. I don't know if I could put Franz over Maxi, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like because it's my thing. But then again, maybe I because he has been carrying, and it's like he's a bigger profile wing. I wouldn't be mad at it. Like, cause if I had to, but I wouldn't take. I don't think I would. Like, if I was starting with nothing, I don't think I would take Franz over a Maxi. And that's basically how I look at this list. If I was
Yeah.
starting with nothing, who would I go for one after the other?
I think that's the best way to look at this list too. You're building
So
your franchise. How are you going forward? Yeah. Who are you
so
taking?
I think for sure. Okay, I'm not gonna even talk about the top 3 because I'm gonna get triggered. But 4, I would go J Dub. 5, I would go Chet.
Mm-hmm.
6, I probably would go Maxi.
Yeah.
7, I'm going LaMelo.
Yeah. I'm not mad at you for that at all.
8, Franz, then Sengun.
Mm-hmm.
That's Sengun 9.
Then I
And
probably
Scotty 10.
Scotty 10. Okay, that's your top 10. That's a good 10. I'm not going. I probably have the same guys in there as well, just a little bit different order. I probably have Chet. Like I said, Chet, then J Dub, then Maxi. Um, yeah, like I said, then I probably have LaMelo, Sengun. I may have LaMelo over Maxi, but it's a toss up between them. Um, other than like you said, I don't think LaMelo is deserving to be this low. I don't think he should be. I don't think Scotty should be over him. No offense.
No, not like Evan Mobley being that high is fucking ridiculous. Tyrese Halliburton still being that high is ridiculous, bro. The
That's why
only
I'm like,
reason
yeah, I don't get how people are. So if this is like based off, I don't know, recency bias or whatever, then Halliburton should be way lower. I think, like you said, sometimes people have a darling eye for Halliburton and they love what they remember so much, or I don't know what the deal is, but he hasn't been. And we're gonna get into this, so I'm trying to save some of it, but yeah,
they just go bring up he was in the Eastern Conference Finals that he didn't even look like the best guard on his team in. I'm just keeping it above.
yeah,
And sometimes he looked like the 3rd best guard on his own team in the conference
mm-hmm.
finals. But that's neither here nor we go get into it.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I I think their top 10 is wrong. Evan Mobley and Sengun and Halliburton is not in the top 10. That's my only problem. Everybody else is pretty much interchangeable, and I care less.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
Zion being so low is hilarious, but of course, I
Yeah,
think
but it makes sense.
and I ain't gonna stunt. Everybody after Jalen Green could be ahead of Jalen Green, except for Koulibaly. In terms of just who I would want on my basketball team,
Wow.
you wouldn't rather have Tyler Hero?
No, I want Tyler Hero. I want a Min, maybe Dyson, and Tyler Hero, a Min, and I probably take Bilal over them. But
I ain't taking Bilal. Bilal can stay where he at. His offense just looks terrible at times.
Yeah,
It's, it's
yeah,
like,
he's very raw still. I thought he would have been
bro,
he's been better, but he still has a ways to go.
Amin and Tyree are on the Rockets. And if you ask a Rockets fans, they gonna say they better than goddamn Jalen Green.
Yeah. Rockets fans be calling to trade Jalen Green left and right.
Dude, I ain't gonna violate him, man. I ain't gonna violate him, but Jalen Green, one of them dudes, I just don't trust him. I don't trust him, bro. It's not the talent, it's the IQ.
Yeah. You've been consistent with this too, so I don't even blame you for that.
He looked like he was going along last year and looked like he forgot everything he learned. Like it's like it. I don't know. I can't do nothing with that. And maybe he just need to change the scenery. Maybe he don't need no post to go at the ball. Maybe he needs just an up and down team. Maybe you compare him with somebody like a Halliburton or a LaMelo, and you know what I'm saying, they just run and gun. But in terms of like half court offense, like what Houston tried to do with execution, tough defense, and playoff style basketball, maybe that's just not for him. Maybe he just meant to get buckets in a fun up and down type of team that goes nowhere. You need those guys in the league. Everybody can't win.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anything else on this list? I'm surprised. I feel like Darius Garland been in the league a long ass time.
Yeah, you forget that he's still fairly young. But you think anybody? I think yeah, a lot of this stuff is pretty good. I'm happy with the placement of Lively. Yeah, I think the list is on the back half is actually pretty decent. Do you think they left anybody off that you would have liked to see, or
Off the top of my head, I can't think of you.
Would you have Benedict Matherin over like Bilal or Cam Thomas? Or
Benedict Matherin don't play no damn defense. Like it's to the point where it's like he's not interested in it at all. It's to the point where it's look like he could be in a 6-man role under Rick Carlisle because it's like he can get buckets, but what else does he do? He can't pass, he can't defend, he don't rebound, he don't block shots, he don't get steals. His IQ is not the great. It's I can get to the rim, I can hit a jumper.
Yeah.
Like he damn near a Jalen Green type of guy, but you know he has a
just doesn't
his
even
team
get
don't need him as much.
Yeah, he doesn't even get the burn enough to do that. So yeah, I feel you on that.
I don't feel like Benedict Matherin that far off from a Jalen Green.
No.
But I'd be lying like a motherfucker if I say I wouldn't take his ass over Koulibaly. I ain't lying. So maybe he can have Koulibaly's spot. Maybe you could sneak him in at 25.
Yeah. I like Koulibaly just for his potential. I think he works his way up into something nice, but we'll see.
Man. Some niggas just can't score.
Yeah. Defensively, he's really nice though, so I like that.
No,
he gives a lot of effort, hustle. He's a good defender. You know, he's like Dyson Daniels, but a little worse. So that's why.
But yeah, he can't handle the ball. Like Dyson can really play point guard if need be. But like Koulibaly, man, we go see. I'm gonna be keeping my eye on that because that's gonna be very important with the Wizards. His development.
That's true.
But ready to get into our topics. I like the list. Ain't terrible. The top 10 is bad, but all they top 10s be bad.
Sure, yeah. Hey, we might drop our own 25 that's gonna be better than this. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we can work on that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, now let's get into these topics, man.
All right.
I was watching Pacers because they play what's the name of that? Uh they played who did the Pacers just play? The Pacers just played
Uh,
the Grizzlies.
yeah.
The
Oh,
Pacers
okay.
played the Grizzlies.
I know why.
And
Yeah.
I wanted to see Halliburton and Ja. I think positional matchups are very important, especially if y'all similar in age. I think,
Mm-hmm.
well, obviously, Ja Morant the age out of that 25 range, but he's still
Yeah.
fairly young.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to see what Tyrese Halliburton looked like against Ja Morant. And it was just overwhelming. Ja Morant, even though he didn't have the greatest and most efficient game, he had an imprint on the game. Tyrese Halliburton, he is not that. And my thing with this is if Tyrese Halliburton isn't hitting shots, he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't affect the game. He just doesn't. He doesn't affect the game. And the thing that makes this worse, Chris, when Andrew Nimhard and TJ McConnell are playing better than him, they just play better than him. So my thing is, I think the roles are reversed. The role players for the Pacers are more important than the stars for the Pacers because I feel like they have bigger impact. It might sound crazy, but when they didn't have TJ McConnell and Andrew Nimmo, they're terrible. They just are. And I don't know. I like the role players for the Pacers better than they stars, and I think they too dependent on them. The fact that you can't win a game without your role players is crazy when your top three scorers is playing. Top four, really.
Hmm.
Do you think the
Man,
Pacers depend on their role players?
I think the Pacers. I mean, all teams kind of are dependent on the role players, but the Pacers role players are a little more important to them because of the style of basketball they play. They play quick, so a lot of guys need come in that rotation and play a key part in that. And like you said, they have talented guards on their bench or playing as role players that can actually step up and do some great things for them, which was shown in the playoffs in TJ McConnell, Andrew Nimhard. Now you did say Tyrese Halliburton doesn't necessarily affect the game when he's not scoring. You don't think, as far as being a facilitator, being a floor general, that's not something
He's
that's
not.
affecting the
And
game?
see, that's what I kind of wanted to hear that too. He passes the ball. Like literally, I was watching him and Ja Morant run a team. Ja Morant was organized. Ja Morant was telling people to stop going over here, quit doing this. I'm finna run this pick to bang. You go over there, sit there. Like I'm passing you the ball, but I'm also setting up the play. Like the thing with Halliburton, he do a lot of quick hitter heads. He hits the open guy and stuff like that. But I saw the difference between him and Halliburton him and Ja Morant yesterday. Ja Morant was orchestrating the offense in the half court and while they was going up and down. Halliburton only wants to go up and down. When that shit get half court, Halliburton just kind of want to stand off to the side and get his three off. Like it's not orchestrate. He don't orchestrate the offense, and he disappears. Him and Benedict Mathurin has to be one of the worst defensive duos in the backcourt in the league. Marcus Smart was just going right by them dudes. Like Jalen Wells was going right by them dudes. Their starters, Chris,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of affect the game like role players. If they not hitting shots, they kind of ineffective. And they role players are the ones that's they bringing the energy, they bringing the intangibles. I'm being serious. We seen
You
it in the
being
playoffs, and it kind of goes with it. When look at their record right now because Nimhard has been hurt, McConnell has been hurt. There's no other team in the league that would be this hurt by they role players being hurt. Halliburton been there. I guess he's been gimpy or whatever.
hey,
But him,
his
he
back?
been there.
His back been hurting.
I guess. But Siakam been there. Turner done been there. Mathurin done been there. Why they record so bad? Because they role players been out. And it's just like, who other say, man, if D-Lo go down and Austin Reeves go down, I'm pretty sure LeBron and AD will still get a couple games.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
yeah.
You think I'm
I
tripping?
mean, no, I don't think you necessarily tripping. I think you are sometimes a little harsh on Halliburton, maybe a little more than you should be. Um, you don't think Halliburton is a good? Where do you have Halliburton as far as being a pick and roll operator? You don't have him with some of the other guys like Trey Young, with Luca, with James
Man,
Harden, or you don't think he's like
hell
that?
no. Hell no. Now that I'm seeing it this year, it's like, because don't get me wrong, he can pass. He can pass the
Mm-hmm.
ball. He hits the open man. He sees plays sometimes before they develop. But in terms of just, he's not an elite passer. He can rack up assists if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But man, he got out for general by Ja Morant. Like in terms of just like, man, this is my team. Like Ja Morant wasn't just hitting all his shots like that, but he was the engine. When I watched the Pacers yesterday, McConnell was the engine. And I'm just keeping it above.
You
McConnell
said,
was the engine.
are you still sticking with that? McConnell is better than Halliburton or playing
He
better
keep
going back to
being
the
better
playoff?
than him. He keep doing it. Nimhard was on a minutes restriction. When Nimhard and McConnell was in and Halliburton was sitting, they was up. When Halliburton came in, they start losing. Him and Matherin don't play no defense. Siakam and Miles Turner don't get no rebounds. Their starters are more flawed than their role players. The Indiana Pacers role players have more well-rounded games than their stars. It's just, like we've seen it too much now. McConnell kind of does a little bit of everything. Like Nimhard does a little bit of everything. Even Obi Toppin came in was doing a little bit of everything. Go look at the box score from you. It keeps happening. And they pass the eye test. It's the stars. If Siakam ain't hitting no shots, he looks okay, but he don't really rebound like that for no power forward. He don't really rack up the blocks like that. Same thing with Turner. He rack up blocks, but he don't get rebounds. Like Matthew ain't shutting nobody down when his jumper ain't falling. He don't rack up assists. He don't get rebounds. Halliburton don't get rebounds. He don't shut nobody down when he's jumping off. You see what I'm saying? What do they do? What do they do when they jumping not falling? And that's something we usually say about role players instead of the stars.
You don't. So okay. So is it that? Okay. What's the more of the problem that Siakam has taken more of a step back? Do you think that's the problem? Is it Miles Turner isn't dominant or better than what he should be, or is it Halliburton is not a star that can drive a team to win?
Because it's more like this. If the stars were better, this would be a championship team. If LeBron and AD had these role players, even this version of LeBron and AD, if they had McConnell, if they had goddamn Toppin, if they had Nimhard, if they had what's the other dude, Smith, the Lakers would win a championship. This shit is Halliburton ain't good enough. Matherin ain't good enough. Siakam ain't good enough. Miles Turner ain't good enough. It's the starters. And it's like, we knew, because I guess, last year we don't like Siakam, borderline 13 all NBA type of level player, borderline top 20. Halliburton looked like he was going to make that. Halliburton, it's really Halliburton is not as good as we thought. And then Siakam he disappears. So it's them. The Pacers would be lucky if they make the playoffs, man.
Hey. Man, so that's what I meant to say. Like, yeah, Pacers haven't won even won an NBA Cup game, and they were just there last year. So it's kind of a shame that they're not being as far as competitive as you would think they would be.
How do you feel about them guys? Like, just think of the starters, Chris. Like, how far do you think they can get? We knew it was a fluke.
That's the thing.
It's like,
yeah, last year's playoff run. I don't know if people should really judge them like that or judge them on that kind of if you're grading the Pacers on an Eastern Conference Finals team, one, that's on you for thinking that they are a legit Eastern Conference Finals team when they're clearly not. Two, if you're grading them on that level, they clearly aren't remotely close to that again this year. Now you can say the same thing about Minnesota a little bit. They've taken a little bit of a step back, but they have not taken this step back that the Pacers have taken back. And the Stars, I guess, like you're saying, plays a big part of that. Now, if you look at the home versus away numbers, Halliburton has been playing a lot better when he's at home. So maybe that injury, that thing with his back and him need to lay down flying on the flights or whatever, and all that sleeping in his own bed make him feel better, but could also be front running like you used to accuse him of.
He's just not it. He ain't carrying no team. And he just ain't carrying no team. And if you ain't shooting your 3 ball, it's just you don't bring enough to the game. Yes, you can pass. Yes, you like that's it. You shooting pass. He can shoot and pass. Chris, what else is he good at?
Getting to the
Literally,
rim, you don't have him very high getting to the rim.
This nigga don't get to no rim. He
I'm
probably
just
give you an
I'm just checking
occasional.
on you.
Nah, bro. Chris, these dudes. Look, I'm looking at their record right now. They in the 8th spot currently, but they got a tied record with Brooklyn, Detroit. They one game over Chicago. Should that be? I didn't think they would be this bad. We knew they would go regress. We know they not that good.
All
But for
right,
you to
but
be,
I mean, yes, but they're also pretty close to getting a couple more wins. They might be a 5th seed. So,
but this is my thing. You have your guys. Most of these teams ain't got nobody. How is Atlanta ahead of you? Literally, Milwaukee came back and passed you. They was on a goddamn 10-game look. Like, I don't even remember their losing streak, but Milwaukee was trash for a long time. Indiana, my thing is Indiana, you supposed to be a top 6 seed. There's no excuse to not be a top 6 seed. That's what I'm judging them off of. I get it. They probably gonna go out in the first round or something like that. But the fact that you can't stay afloat as a top 6 seed with your star players, one role player goes out and y'all done. Like you can't survive 1 or 2 role players being out. That's not usually how it go in the NBA. That's usually you can't survive 1 or 2 stars.
Okay. So do you think that Eastern Conference Finals run elevated their role players their star players to a level that they shouldn't have been on? Or do you think they should have been on that level, or they're just not living up to it?
I honestly think they have a chance as long as their role players are healthy. Their role players haven't been healthy. The role players are the best players on the team.
Ain't no way.
I promise you. I honestly still think once because Nembhard just got back, he on a minutes restriction. McConnell just got back. Neesmith is coming back soon. Once they get back, watch how they jump up, and people go be even if Halliburton do get back on track. The best part of the Indiana Pacers are their role players: T.J. McConnell, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Neesmith, Obi Toppin. Remember they was a top 3 bench scoring team last year, and you've seen what they did in the playoffs. It was multiple games in the playoffs where Nembhard and McConnell was out playing Tyrese Halliburton. And it's okay because even in the game yesterday, Jarris Walker came in. He getting rebounds, he getting blocks, he getting deflections. Their role players are better than their stars and starters. And it just is what it is. I think the Pacers have fallen off because their role players haven't been healthy. We don't hardly say stuff like that, but it's true. When they role players get back fully healthy, watch the Pacers rise back up into the standings. That's basically what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. So you're also just saying their star players aren't playing good enough either, which can be the truth.
I'm saying yes, but also it's something I've never seen where the role players are more valuable than the starters and stars, and it's a fact. If somebody say I'm wrong, they ain't paying attention.
Y'all, please let him know in the comments if he's crazy for saying this. I think he has a good point, but I do think when it comes to value, as far as I think so you're saying your main priority for the Pacers Get your role
Get your
players
role
healthy.
players healthy. Yes.
No way. No, it's not. Make sure Halliburton figure something out or get him more comfortable or
I mean, of course, and then we can move on because
yeah.
I want to get to the Grizzlies too. But
Mm-hmm.
of course, Halliburton got to get it together. But my thing is, and I think it's quite interesting that
Mm-hmm.
their role players are so valuable to the team that if one or two of them role players go out, it's over. Because I feel like this is it's one of the most interesting backcourts in the NBA. Halliburton, McConnell, Matherin, Neesmith, and
Mm-hmm.
Nembhard. As
Yeah.
5 guys to bring all kind of different things to the table, and everything it all has to work together. But I ain't gonna sit here and lie like if the Pacers were winning is because of Siakam and Halliburton has. No, it's because of the collective unit. And me personally, just going based off of value and what I've seen, the playoffs from last year and going into this year, the role players are more valuable. Like they bring the heart, they bring the energy, they bring the intangibles. Of course, Siakam gonna have to score one-on-one here and there. Of course, Halliburton gonna have to hit some threes. Of course, Matherin gonna have to jump over some people, finish through contact. But at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, man, sometimes the box score don't quantify everything. Them role players is valuable, and I've seen it last night. Once Nembhard hit his minutes restriction, that shit went down. They went from a 16-point lead to losing by like 10, 12.
Mm.
It just is what it is.
Man, that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Memphis, because I did want to get to Memphis, and
Okay.
I was just watching because they a top 4 seed, Chris, in the West. I don't even
Yeah.
know if you knew that, but these dudes haven't been playing. Scottie Pippen Jr. has been playing, and Aldama and them guys. I just wanted to ask you, just knowing what you know about the Memphis and where they are, understand is they done got healthy. What's the
Mm-hmm.
Grizzlies ceiling this season to you, your opinion?
I think they can still make some slight noise in the playoffs. I think they get to a second round. They can win the first round matchup, but I think they run into the wrong team. They may not be getting past them.
You don't think the Grizzlies can make a conference finals?
I don't think the Grizzlies can make a conference finals. West is too loaded. There's too many good teams over there as far as like I think Mavericks are pretty much can make the conference finals. I think OKC should be able to make the conference finals this year. I think even if the Warriors get on the right path, I mean they have that continuity. They have the championship pedigree. They're playing well cohesively. They run a deep lineup. I think they could technically make it back.
So you
They're,
think the Warriors are better than the Grizzlies right now?
no, no, it's hard for me to say that right now. They're ahead of. They're like
They
no,
haven't been healthy,
but
Chris. The Grizzlies is 4 seed. They ain't been healthy.
I think come playoff time though, it's a little different. That's all I'm gonna say. Like come playoff time, I'm probably leaning towards Steph over Ja on them. But like you said, the Grizzlies are a deep team. So maybe I mean Steph can only do so much, but when this team deep like they are, I might be wrong about that. But
The
I
only
may
thing
need to see
is
just a little bit more.
the okay. My top 4 teams in the West. I have OKC, low
Mm,
key. Dallas and Phoenix is probably hovering right under them, and then
mm.
I have the Grizzlies as my 4th team. Oh damn! I forgot about the Nuggets.
I don't know how I feel about the
Nuggets
Nuggets just yet.
Nuggets about 5. Nuggets about 5. Well, I ain't gonna stand. Warriors, if they remain a 6 seed, I'll be surprised. So I'm
Okay.
not sure if they better than the Rockets for real, for real. But
Yeah.
I think the thing about the Grizzlies, Chris, I think
Mm,
they top 3 players, they fit together just as good as any other top 3. Because John Morant, Desmond Bain, and Jaren Jackson, they just complement each other so well, bro.
yes. That's a good top three too. Like you said, when the stars are out, one of the like two of the stars are out, Bane can step up and lead the team. Um, Jaren Jackson has led the team at times when the other two have been hurt. So, and they're very complimentary, like you said.
Man, because most teams got big twos and big three. And then it's like, who don't the Grizzlies match up well against? They can go big, they can go small. Like I feel like people are sleeping on the Grizzlies 'cause they haven't been healthy, and for them not to be healthy, literally rolling out all role players and like Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson, or just Jaren Jackson one game, or just Desmond Bain. This team fully healthy, and Ja Morant. I'm not the biggest Ja Morant fan, but he's a floor general. Not
Mm-hmm.
even just in terms of certain things. It's just the attitude you adopt playing with him. It's
Yeah.
like, say, man, I'm confident. You have to be confident. I'm gonna put confidence in you. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that go a long way. He has to stay healthy. That's really my biggest thing with the Grizzlies, and I definitely think they can make a conference finals. I wouldn't be surprised. Basically, all I'm saying.
Okay. I don't think I'd be surprised. Like you said, they're a very deep team. Just added a rookie in Jalen Wells who can come in and play well for them. I love the Santi Adama. Like they have I think 7 guys, maybe more, averaging like 10 points or more for them. Like they have a deep team, deep squad. It may be more than that, honestly. They have a squad that's rolling deep in there. I like and then like you said, you have Marcus Smart now to pair with Ja for defensive purposes. Like go along with Desmond Payne. Like they have a solid squad that can run deep. You can play a bunch of guys to spell them through the regular season to get through a high seed, and then you can lean on your stars in the postseason.
Sure, man. I know damn well I would want to see him in the second
No,
round. The Mavericks would want to see the Grizzlies, bro. I feel like they're nah, bro. You who? Okay, so if you okay,
I mean,
so who you say your second team was? You would say the Mavericks.
OKC, the Mavericks. Yeah,
So
and
okay, if you the
yeah,
Mavericks in the second round, would you rather see Phoenix, Memphis, or the Warriors?
I think I'd rather see Phoenix, and that's a little. I see
Give me the
Phoenix, the
Warriors. Why are
Warriors.
you lying?
Say,
Give me
man.
them Warriors.
Yeah, you're right. The Warriors, but I mean, I think the Phoenix is gettable too, but probably Warriors as far as like the Warriors play a lot of guys, but I don't think their guys are as good as the Warriors play a deep rotation, but they don't have as deep as a rotation as Memphis does. Like Memphis has a deep rotation that is actually good.
Mhm.
Warriors play a lot of guys because they kind of need to just to spell some things. So
Man, I think the fact that I only brought that up because I could say the same thing about Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City wouldn't want to see the Grizzlies. Literally, you could put Jaren Jackson on Chet, he can keep up. You could put
mm,
Brandon Clark on Hartenstein, he can keep up. Literally, any combination of guys, you can put somebody on them. Like Marcus Smart on SGA, Bane
mhm.
on J Dub. Like literally, there's no matchup. There's no matchup in the Western Conference that the Grizzlies can't match up with. And I think when it comes to playoff basketball, that's the most important thing. I
Yeah,
can damn near go star for star, and then I can just match up afterward.
matchup in terms of style of play too. They can go big against the Mavericks. They can go they can play small ball with the Thunder. So, like you
Just tell
said,
it.
Grizzlies are a good team. I think they Taylor Jenkins is doing well coaching all these pieces as far as they have rookies that they're implementing in the lineup. They also have solid role players that they're bringing in, like even like Brandon Clark doesn't really play as much as he used to, but he's still a solid guy for them. You have Santi Aldama, who's great. You got Jay Huff, who they picked up off
Hitting
summer league,
threes.
and he's hitting threes, going crazy in games. Like they have a deep, talented roster.
So
And
are you changing your stance on a ceiling?
like you said, I don't blame you if you think they can get to the conference finals. I just uh I think their path to the conference finals might be actually, like you said, if they keep you see how the standings are right now, if they stay one, if Rockets or if OKC stays one, Rockets stays two, Memphis stays three, and then beating Rockets in the second round, if the Rockets make it past first round, I think it's very, very plausible for them to make it to the conference finals.
I'm just saying.
So
I'm just saying. I think the biggest wild card is the Denver Nuggets. I just wouldn't want to bet against the Denver Nuggets, but for some reason, I just ain't putting them in that. I think I. So I don't know.
I gotta.
I don't know. I don't know if
the
I can
regular
put Memphis over them probably, but regular season.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, regular season wise, it's hard to tell and predict where these teams are going to end up as far as seeding goes, especially in the West where it's a bloodbath out there. But I do think, I think the Nuggets still would be a team you want to avoid. Am I completely sold on the Nuggets right now? No. But does that mean I want to see them in the playoffs? Definitely not. So
what do you think would keep the Grizzlies from a conference finals? Because you was hesitant. What's the hesitation?
Me personally, like you said, injuries, like lack of experience coming into the playoffs. Like they've played some playoff ball, haven't made it far. They got into the second round. Ran into LeBron, who again another veteran team. The bigs, I think, Grizzlies lose some of their physicality. But I think in that regard, I think keeping up with some of those like veteran teams, keeping up with outside shooting. While the Grizzlies do have shooting, I think if there's like a team that's hitting an array of threes like the Warriors could do, I think it'd be hard offensively for them to keep up. But like you said, star power for star power, I think they have it. And then as far as depth and style of play, I think they can match up well with a lot of teams. It's just depending on who they play. Like the Jokic, I think if I like that, or veteran teams with experience, I think I'd lean towards them, especially going into the second round of conference finals.
Okay, so you said experience maybe being a factor. What do you think their biggest basketball flaw is? Because me personally, I was saying I don't know who I would trust to close games. Like if you gotta have you going bucket for bucket in a fourth quarter against a Luka or a KD, that's where I
Yeah,
have some hesitation in closing games. Do you got
yeah,
anything basketball wise?
I think that's a good point. I think basketball wise, I also think their bigs could get into foul trouble depending on who they play. I don't think while they are good defenders and they're good defenders, I think you could play them. I think offensively they're not going to be able to keep up with maybe some of the other teams. Or like if you attack them and get them in foul trouble, then that puts a little bit of strain on them as well.
Okay.
So that's basketball. I don't see like it's not much honestly. The Grizzlies are a good team, and as far as 3-point shooting wise, like keeping up with like perimeter shooting, they have guys that can shoot. Like Luke Kennard's on their bench too. Like they have like, a lot of guys. Jay Huff, like you said, was hitting threes. But out of your like stars, like is Ja Morant gonna go 3 for 3 with the Curry or 3 for 3 with Luka? We'll see. I know Bane might be able to do that, but just perimeter shots, if they get the right ones, are they gonna be able to hit them when clutch time, when time matters? So
Okay, I guess we're going. Oh, last question: Peyton Pritchard or Scottie Pippen Jr. I think people sleep on Scottie Pippen Jr. as the
say,
best
man,
backup point guard in the league.
hey, dude, Scottie Pippen Jr. in my opinion, he's been playing very well. He's been he just dropped 30 on some team. I forgot who it was. He just dropped 30 on some team. Like Lakers should be kicking themselves forever letting that man go, giving up on him so early. I don't even know why they thought they had the luxury of giving up on young talent so early, but I guess when LeBron's in town. Anyways, it's just time to praise the Grizzlies and Scottie Pippen Jr. He's been great. Everybody was like, "Oh, how can they lose Tyus Jones? How can they lose their great backup point guard?" And they were able to find another one, Scottie Pippen Jr. So very quickly, who could step in and lead, run that floor general role like Ja whenever Ja is out, and be a great floor general from the backup side as well. Great scorer, great at finding guys. I'd have him over Pritchard if I'm being honest right now. I think Pritchard is great. I think he also benefits from playing on a great team and a great system. Not to say that Pritchard couldn't be a good guy on another team as well. He could.
I just
I just like Scottie Pippen right now.
I like how you said, because my thing is the floor generalship. I think that's what it is for me too. Because my thing is Scottie Pippen Jr. He scores the ball. He
Mhm.
probably is not as good as a scorer as Peyton Pritchard, but he can score. Like
Yeah.
I'll say shooter. He's not as good of a shooter, like all level shooter as Peyton Pritchard. But he can score, but he's assist and rebounds as well. Did he have a triple double earlier this year? So I think
I
he
think yeah,
brings
yeah.
more to a game than Peyton Pritchard, if that makes sense.
I'm with you on that too. Like Peyton Pritchard, I think he's probably a front runner for sixth man of the year right now. Great score off the bench for the Celtics. Great energy guy, great glue guy, honest or bridge guy for them between their bench and their starter minutes too. I just like you said, I think Scottie Pippen brings a little bit more. It's right, he's even bigger. He's bigger, a little bit bigger. He can rebound. He can facilitate for other guys on the team as well, while still being able to give you that scoring threat. Whereas I think yes, Peyton Pritchard is more of a scoring threat. I might just value some of the other things that the Scottie Pippen brings, at least for now.
Just a better all-around player. Let me look at their stats before I get up off of it. Because I was just thinking, because I'm like, is Scottie Pippen Jr. the best backup point guard in the NBA? Is there even another backup point guard in the NBA you can think of right now?
Do you consider Trey Mann point guard or more shooting guard when he was playing? Maybe Trey Mann.
See Scottie Pippen right now. He's 12 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. 48 from the field, 36 from 3, 75 from 3. Let me look up Trey Mann real quick. Because I know Pritchard is 16 points. I'm gonna get to him. But Trey Mann right now, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 from the field, 40 from the 3, and 91 from the free throw line. Yeah. So it's like Scottie Pippen doing more than that in terms of just overall game. Peyton Pritchard is 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 48 from the field, 43 from 3, 88 from the line. Scottie Pippen just brings more all around.
Yeah.
He does more things. He's not scoring as much as them guys, but he's
and it's not even just looking at the box score, it's looking at or averages, whatever. Like some people might go and come for you in the comments and saying these Celtics defenders, I'm sure. Like when you watch the game, you can tell that Scottie Pippen can have more of an impact on the game as well. And he does a little bit more things for them. And whereas Peyton Pritchard, you're looking for him to get some buckets, get some energy for them and help them out in that way. But you're asking Scottie Pippen, hey, can you get some rebounds for us? Can you make sure to set up some guys' shots? Can you also attack the basket? Can you hit a couple threes? Like, I think that's
6 assists. 6 assists as a backup is pretty crazy. He's giving you about 6 assists and 4 rebounds as a 6'1" point guard. I value just the all around game.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that either. So
Peyton Pritchard, he's built it up a few times, but give me Scottie.
Yeah. I'm saying this ain't no diss the Peyton Pritchard. I'm not saying Peyton Pritchard's bad or playing bad or whatever. I just prefer Scottie right now. So
I thought we was gonna disagree. I thought you would say Peyton Pritchard. That's crazy. So
you
we can't argue about that.
Say man, I like Pritchard, but nah, I got Scottie right now.
Okay. I was watching the Thunder and the Rockets game, and I was just thinking to myself, bro, the Rockets was unwatchable 2 years ago with some of these same people. Was that when did Ime get there? That was 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago.
Okay, 3 years ago. But they had Jalen Green, Sengun, and Jabari Smith, didn't they? Before Udoka got there.
I believe so.
Because I think the only other people that's not there no more is like Kevin Porter Jr. and KJ Martin. But other than that, I think it's some of the same people. They added Fred VanVleet, but I just feel like just the transformation this team made. They're second in the West. They just beat OKC.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think Ime Udoka is coach of the year, bro. I think he's probably the most underrated coach. And you know what's crazy about it too, Chris? When Ime Udoka was first announced as the Rockets head coach, it's kind of like we all knew he was going to turn it around. Like we knew he was.
Yeah, I disagree with you as far as Ime Udoka. Sorry, Ime Udoka being the coach of the year. I don't think he's coach of the year right now at all. I think Jamal Mosley should be in consideration and should be coach of the year right now as well.
I love Jamal Mosley, but going on. Ain't nobody on the Rockets better than Franz Wagner. Even that, no, there's nobody on the Rockets I would really take outside of Sengun over Jalen Suggs. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, fam. I
don't
still
know.
think even without Paolo, like Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs down there better than everybody on the Rockets still.
I guess, but I mean, I think personally, being a top 4 seed in the East, and I think they'll only get better. Him missing his biggest young star, him coaching this young team, I think Jamal Mosley personally has done a little bit better of a job than this deep Rockets team, this deeper young Rockets team, in my opinion.
Man, say that I feel you. I promise I do. But when you got Paolo, who was established the number 1. We got Franz, who was the established number 2. We got Jalen Suggs, who's the established Derek White 3 to 4th type of guy. All that's been established. Now we just fully into our identity. Houston is still a whole bunch of young guys and 2 vets. Literally, just we don't know who's going to be our real first option, second option, third option. We're just doing it night in, night out, just by execution, defense, and just this new. You're not going to be bullshitting because I'm here. Literally, the thing about Houston is it's Ime's team. The Magic is Paolo's team. When you think of the Magic, you think of Paolo. When you think of the Rockets, you think of Ime. There's no star over there. Like I get it.
Shingo not a star. We not finna act like Shingo's not a star. What's keeping Shingo from being called a star in your book?
I just don't think he's good enough. Like, do you think he's good enough to lead a team to the finals?
What has he been lead a team?
No, Chris, stop it.
Lead a team to the finals. Maybe not lead a team to the finals, but he can definitely be a good lead a team to a decent place. And then he has some.
Is he better than Domantas Sabonis? To you?
This season, I think he's been better than
Sabonis. No, that's fair. I'm just asking.
I don't think Sabonis has been. I don't think Sabonis is an all-world mover for me right now.
Okay, so okay. Where does he rank amongst bigs? Not just centers, bigs, like the bigs. Because you still got the Jokic, the Giannis, the AD, the bigs. With the bigs of the best players on their team.
He's still top 10 big.
Let me look. Let me see what's going on with these bigs.
He's still a top 10 big. I think Şengün, as far as they played through Şengün. Who did the Rockets literally play through Alperen Şengün? They're not.
Is he better than Cat?
Not this season, no. But would I expect him to be better than Cat? I mean, he's 21. He's averaging about 18, 19 points a game. He's also giving you about 5 assists and like everybody he's better defensively than he has been in the past this season.
So would you if you building a championship team and you already got Şengün, would you try to bring in somebody that's better or worse than him?
I'm bringing in a nice scorer that can play off of him, handle the ball, and get him and,
My,
and and get their own shot at times.
okay, let me rephrase it. Who are you bringing in next to Sengun that's making them a championship team that he's going to
If
be
I
better than?
if I got De'Aaron Fox in there, if Şengün was like if De'Aaron Fox came to the Rockets, I think that's a championship team.
And De'Aaron Fox is the best player on his team. You see what I'm saying?
All right,
Like
okay, you
he's a
would
2 or a 3, just like how Pau Gasol, because Pau Gasol was leading the Grizzlies to a playoff.
okay.
But it's like, bruh, you ain't no Kobe. And you say you on a championship team, it's because there's somebody over here better than you. And I
And he
think we
just
kind of say that about the Rockets because nobody really takes the Rockets seriously because nobody views Sengun as the guy. We think of the Rockets, we think of Ime.
I guess, yeah, but I just personally think Şengün is a star. I think he's someone you can build around as well.
Okay,
I
let me
think
phrase it like
he
this. I'm sorry, real quick, and then you can get back to that. If
all
you
right.
ask Rocket fans, who would you rather keep? Ime Udoka or Sengun? Who you think they keeping?
You can always find a coach.
Okay. If you ask, so it'll be the same thing with the Magic. You think the Magic fans would say, man, they'll say Jamal Murray, get your ass out of here.
Yeah, they would.
They would say it faster than the Rockets fans.
No. No, they wouldn't. I'm Ime is a culture builder, clearly. I think the Celtics they had to let him go because of his situation, or I guess. But I mean, at the same time, uh, we also see what Missoula could come in and he can win a championship with that roster too. I guess so. As far as culture building now, this was my year for the Rockets to actually do something, make the playoffs, whatever, take that jump. Clearly, it looks like that's what they're doing right now. If they win NBA Cup, I might be looking at, like you said, he may a little bit more seriously for Coach of the Year for sure. He's a culture builder. He has the young guys playing hard, playing their role. So in that aspect, yes, I get what you're saying. I just think in my aspect, I think Jamal Mosley has had his guys playing well in absences, has had his defense for that Magic team playing well. He's been holding teams under like 100 points for multiple games. My opinion, and then I think there's less mistakes as far as into the game and things like that coming from Magic side without their young stars, without their young star, and just relying on Franz rather than Houston Rockets have been a little. It can be a little shaky sometimes while they're starting Fred VanVleet. So
I just think Ime Udoka is in a trickier situation. I think Jamal Mosley has better players. I like Jamal Mosley. He was in Dallas, I think. Wasn't he? He was in Dallas with
yeah,
Luka
he
now.
was in Dallas with Luka.
I like him. He seems very cool, calm, collected, all those things.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think of Ime, I think of like a college coach. It's like he's the guy. Like you put him on a team, the coach of a team, it's Ime's team. I don't there's not a lot of coaches like that. Like you look at Miami, you like, oh nah, that's Eric Spoelstra's team.
Yeah.
Like I think Ime is one of those type of guys. So he's that powerful presence, and I think he's
Mm-hmm.
that type of coach. Chris, when he signed to the Rockets, nobody didn't. Everybody thought he was gonna turn it around. Like it's like he's held in that high of a regard, and I just think he's just one of those. He's a one of one type of coach. I don't know. I damn near think
Yeah.
of him like a Bill Self, just on the goddamn in the pro level. I just think he's a guy who is just he's the guy, and it's
Yeah.
just very few coaches that you can say it's like that. So Jamal Mosley, I'm sorry, bro. Rockets stay a
I,
top 3 seed.
yeah.
Man.
I guess so. I think he had a clear vision of what he wanted, how to build this team, how to get them where they are currently right now. You know, I'm gonna bring in some vets. I'm gonna bring in some guys for toughness. We're gonna all compete. We're all gonna be competitive. You're gonna fear me because if you're not you're gonna fear me in the figure that I am on the sidelines and in practice, whatever. You're not playing well, you're gonna lose your spot, like that kind of aspect. I think that clearly was he laid down the foundation, the roadmap to get from undisciplined, don't know what they were doing kind of Rockets team to, more structured, more competitive, young, talented team with some of that veteran presence as well.
Do you think Kenny Atkinson got some coach of the year? He got some action, or do you think they had already had too much set in place?
I mean, uh, it's probably crazy that I went Jamal Mosley over Kenny Atkinson. I just said, granted that he won like 15 games in a row. I mean, I feel like they just already had the star power, already had the team. They already had that cohesiveness. He kind of just came in, and tweaked a few things, and then let the engine run, and they went off on their way. I mean, I guess you do give him credit for that, but I kind of like what Jamal Mosley's been doing with missing some guys and having them where they're at. So and
No,
it
no,
being a younger team.
I'm on your side with this. I just was, wanted to hear it before I said it too, because
Okay.
the Cavaliers, they was dealing with injury problems last year. I think they were very unhealthy in terms of their core four, and they still was a fourth seed. So, and most people projected them to be a top 3 regular season team anyway. So nobody predicted Paolo going out, and they even when they get. Remember, we thought they was going. So I do like what Jamal Mosley is doing. But I think even with the guys he got, they damn near, man, that Houston Rock 3 in the West too. Like,
Okay.
it's crazy.
That is true. The West is rough, and for them to have that, I didn't have them getting even early. I didn't have them getting out and sustaining this. By this point in the season, I was like, Rockets will fall eventually. They haven't fallen. Ime Udoka has been having them well. They just beat OKC. Yes, like you said, Fred VanVleet dropped 38, surprisingly. So they have an interesting team. I just think like we talked about this earlier. When Fred VanVleet is your star, like they have some starters where I think like they can improve on, as far as like you'd want Amin Thompson to be a starter. Maybe you want Reece Shepherd to get better and be your starter over Fred VanVleet eventually, like rather than him depending on him to be your actual starter, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, it just you let the vets put you in a position where you make it to the playoffs, and then you slowly filter their ass out. Okay. You got anything else about the coach of the year, Ime Udoka? I feel like that was a good conversation we had there.
that's good conversation. Shout out to him, turning his situation around, getting knowing that I'm a good coach. Y'all let go of me, I'm still gonna do my thing regardless. So, and not being flustered by none of that or whatever. So
It's a nasty man can coach, but okay. Last topic of the day. Say, bro, because we know Donovan Mitchell. Would he have like 18 or 19 in the fourth quarter against the Celtics? They come from behind victory. They was down 12 going into the fourth quarter. We know all that. Donovan Mitchell is a dog. Hey, I'm a Donovan Mitchell guy. He's an alpha. Don't nobody believe in Donovan Mitchell more than me. Probably Donovan Mitchell is the only person. But I just think he needs to let Darius Garland cook no more. He needs to let Darius Garland cook some more. Let me tell you why. Okay. They lost back to back to Atlanta before they beat the Celtics. And I think this would have been a bigger story, but I still think, hey, it needs to be talked about. I wanted to give his numbers. Listen to this, because this is crazy. Listen to how many shots the dude took. Game 1 against the Hawks. Hawks won 135 to 124, Chris. Donovan Mitchell, 10 for 24, 4 for 14 from 3, 30 points, 7 6 4 rebounds. Darius Garland, 7 for 14, 19 points, 2 for 7 from 3. You're like, okay, I can kind of see why Donovan Mitchell took more shots than him that game. He wasn't doing that much better. Okay. But he shot 50%. Game 2. This is where things get a little, say, bro, what you doing?
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, 5 for 23, 2 for 10 from 3, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Darius Garland, 11 for 19, 5 for 8 from 3, 29, 5, and 3. Donovan Mitchell took, how many is that? 24 plus 23. That is 47 shots.
Yep.
He took 47 shots in 2 games, Chris.
Hey, shooters gonna shoot.
Do you think Donovan Mitchell should defer to Darius Garland more? I think 47 shots in 2 games is crazy. When you wasn't shooting good.
I think he should definitely allow certain periods or moments of the game throughout where it's like, all right, you go ahead and cook. This is a way for them to win too. You're gonna need Garland to be almost like an alpha level scorer in come playoff time. He can't kind of just be like solely dependent. The guys can't be solely dependent on Donovan Mitchell as far as scoring, as far as keeping them in games come playoff time. You're gonna need the combination of that duo, like Luka and Kyrie did in playoffs last season. They're gonna need that kind of level of production from their backcourt to go with the defense of their front court in order to be real contenders. So I think he should step back, allow Garland to do some more things, whether that be through, hey, second, third quarter, you got it. And if you got a heater going into the fourth, go ahead and take it. But something like that, where I got first quarter, that's how I do. I like to get my field rhythm going early, and then I'm gonna defer to you a little bit towards second, third, and then I'll take over in the fourth if I need to. Or if you got it going, I'm gonna just step back and say you got it this time. But I definitely think it's important for them to allow Garland to become more of a dominant scorer, just more involved in general in the offense for them to be a true contender.
I'm just not a fan of guys. I love Donovan Mitchell, bro. You took 48, you took 47 shots in 2 games, and you wasn't shooting good. And Darius Garland hit 50% both games. My thing is, if he's cooking, let him cook. And he's the point guard anyway. He should have the ball anyway. Like, I'm not a big fan of people not letting point guards be point guards, especially when you have an all-star point guard.
Yeah.
Let him be a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Because how you feel about this? Because I don't know if you remember, but when Dirk was playing with Josh Howard and Jason Terry, Josh Howard was probably the best first quarter scorer in the NBA. Like, it's like, hey, Josh Howard, do your thing. By the end of the game, it's going to be Dirk and Jason Terry. People used to think, oh, it's because Josh Howard was always getting high, he always fading it. No, he come out early and get buckets. So by the time if the game do be close, Dirk and Terry could close the show. But they always used to get Josh Howard going in the first quarter. I remember that used to be a thing. He used to lead the NBA in first quarter point. I feel like NBA teams don't do stuff like that. Like, you should know your players. Oh, like you said, I like to get going they don't think like that no more, Chris. I need to get going in the first, then defer to you the second, third. I'm closing out the fourth. Mitchell was taking shots from quarter 1 to quarter 4. He took 24 shots. Like, I'm just not a fan of it. And I feel like if they're going to make it to a conference finals, if they're going to make it to a finals, the hero ball shit got to stop.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, I know, like you said, Darius Garland did struggle last season in the playoffs a little bit. But like you said, it's up. I think it's crucial for him to be that threat, be that scorer, and who can also handle the ball and facilitate for that team, be the point guard for them to be a real contender. And that starts with making that happen and getting that figured out, getting that chemistry going, and making that feel natural throughout the regular season. I think they have the flexibility to win some games. They have a huge lead in the East. They're not going to miss the playoffs. They might clinch honestly real early, but I think the regular season is when they should try to really figure that out, hammer home as far as chemistry, get feel for scoring, and making sure other guys are getting involved, especially Darius Garland. So
Because Chris, Evan Mobley, he was 20. I think he had 22 points on 14 shots the first game, 10 for
mhm.
17 the second game, 24 and 12. Say, Donovan, my thing is you're missing. Like we get what you
Yeah,
did in Boston yesterday. I,
yeah,
I'm starting to think that's what it is. Like the I think Donovan Mitchell, him and Trey Young got this thing. It's like they believe in themselves so much to where it's like they don't catch on to it. Hey man, you missing right now. Like, and he's cooking. Let
yeah,
him do it. I think
yeah,
Donovan Mitchell falls for hero ball too much. I ain't noticed it until I watched them lose to the Hawks twice in a row when he just had to stop shooting. Just stop. That's
yeah.
all they're way better.
It's hard for a star to, especially who has that belief in themselves, who knows they can close out games, who knows they can lead a team to victory, and who has done it before, to be like, I ain't got it today, so let him do something. But but the real stars and the true stars, uh, they can do that, and that's how you win. And that winning players, that's what they do. And this
Do
is the
you
time
think
for
that
Donovan Mitchell to be a winning player. So
I was just gonna say because I honestly think he's a winning player, but my thing is everybody can't do everything. Do you think this is just his kryptonite? Like this is just something that Donovan Mitchell doesn't have the awareness to know these type of things? Do you think it's that? Like I honestly think this is just his flaw. Because I used to think like,
yeah,
why is he not getting over the hump? It's probably he don't he play hero ball too much.
I do think he is a shot chucker. He likes to take a lot of shots. Now, I'm not gonna say. I didn't mean to say it necessarily the most negative as ways in his past, yes, but currently, I think he has a good balance on it. But uh, he wants to win the games. He wants to get downhill, get to the basket, get the free throws. Like you said, he scored 67 something points just a couple seasons ago in Cleveland. So he's not privy to
72, I
getting.
think.
Yeah, he's not privy to getting the ball up. So
Chris, 47 shots, 2 games. I'm not good at math, but how much is that? That's 23 and a half shots a game.
yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
I mean, what do you want him to be taking, right? So I guess you do want him to take lower amount of shots and be more efficient, I guess, when you're not as
When you're
efficient.
missing, when you're not
Yeah.
on, you're not on. You went 6 of 24 from three. That
Yeah.
they don't stop shooting. Just stop shooting. No, I think what made it stick out to me so much because you lost back to back to the Hawks in games you should have won because you were just shooting too much. That's the only thing. The Hawks wasn't better than y'all. You just were shooting too much. You wasn't understanding. Evan Mobley is cooking. Darius
Yeah.
Garland is cooking. Get them the ball. But the thing I learned from yesterday's game, they beat the Celtics. Everybody kind of cool with him doing it because he will have a game like that against the Celtics, and
Hmm.
everybody go kind of forget about the 2 games in a row you lost to the Hawks. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think this will be the fatal. Basically, what I'm getting to is, will this be the fatal flaw for the Cavs, and will this come back up again? Because Darius Garland. You remember they kind of had a little smoke talking about
Yeah.
like Darius Garland was like, it's either him or me.
Him or me. Yeah. 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 Hey, man. And it's not gonna be you, girlie. I'm sorry. No offense, but it's just probably not gonna be you.
And would you move off Mitchell? Because I kind of think like the way that Evan Mobley is trending, the way that Darius Garland is trending, and what you can get for Donovan Mitchell, do you think they're kind of outgrowing him?
No, I think they got some. They definitely need him now, and they have a couple more, at least for a season, this season for sure, and next season to prove that we can win with him. If they look bad this year, yeah, they go out like first round. Uh, you may be looking at him sideways for sure. But like we said, this is a conference finals caliber roster. So they kind of need to be showing that, in my opinion. So
I feel like if they go out before the conference finals, Chris, and it's because of Donovan Mitchell don't have shot awareness, and I feel like that's a skill too, to know when somebody's hot and ride the hot hand, and to know when you don't got it. I feel like he doesn't never feel like he don't got it, and I feel like that could be a problem in the playoffs, especially the playoffs, because you just gotta have to put your pride to the side, and that's what we need to start watching for going forward. Donovan Mitchell, and if he's willing to take the backseat, because in the beginning of the season when they was winning all them games, Darius Garland and Evan Mobley was going off. I think Donovan Mitchell started to kind of be like, okay, now let me try to get into the MVP right. Now he's not, but the way it started to sing, let me start getting into the MVP right. He wasn't taking 24, 23 shots at the beginning of the year, basically. I feel like now he's kind of like, okay, I'm not in the MVP conversation, but my team winning so much. Let me show people, because he was only averaging 24 points. And it's like, I feel like he has to understand that's okay. Just like when Jason Tatum wasn't in MVP conversation, but his team was the best team. Everything not go be for everybody unless your time go come if it's gonna come. And I just feel like he was playing way more unselfish at the beginning of the year. Just them 2 games, them 47 shots, both of them back-to-back, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And I just don't want to forget just because what he did to the Celtics. Because we know he got that in him. But you ain't going to win no championship like that, bro.
Yeah. We can't overlook, we can't overlook bad things just because we're winning. We're a winning team in the regular season right now, because it can come back and haunt you in the playoff time. So that's what I say. I think the regular season is all about ironing out, bad habits, or just getting in, right pecking order, making sure guys feel comfortable doing certain things throughout this. Come playoff time, they feel comfortable doing, being a scorer, stepping up and doing that kind of thing. And so if that means taking a step back a little bit, hey, maybe he needs to do that.
You got anything else on Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, the Cavs, and their situation?
I think they'll be fine. I think they're also a pretty deep team. That's been well coached by Kenny Atkinson. He's clearly improved them offensively, which is what was holding them back. Will this sustain? We'll see. I think they definitely have the roster to be able to contend with the Celtics, with the Knicks, with the Magic. Those are really the only 4 teams I think are teams in the East. Forgive me if I forgot one, but that's about it. So
okay, we pretty much hit everything. So
yeah.
if you want to wrap it up, we can wrap it up. I do want to see Darius Garland get more assertive too. If you is going 11 for 19, you might have to yell at him. You might have to, you might have to wave, do some of that. You might have to wave Donovan Mitchell off like that.
Yeah.
So, Evan Mobley too, because Evan Mobley had back-to-back 20-10 games.
Yeah.
So,
I've never seen Evan Mobley really just be extremely assertive, extremely dominant. So that's something that they could benefit from.
But yeah, man, we can wrap it up. This been another NBA segment featuring Diddy Ball and Chris. We gonna see you guys on the next one. We are gone.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can look comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I will never quit.